Episode 3. If this is your first visit to this series, make sure you watch the intro video and learn how this series is structured, and this will help you get the most value from these videos. In this episode, we win the opening roll with 6-2, and we play the standard 18-11, split and down. Our opponent responds with the roll 3-4, and they play 21-9, which is the best play, and we will see this opening again in a future video. We respond with the roll 3-4. What would your play be with this 3-4 at our 3 different match scores? Pause the video. A few moves to rule out here with our 3-4. Playing our 3 here and our 4 here, kind of cleaning up shop, is not a good play. This checker here really wasn't under a direct shot, so we're really not cleaning up too much. And this checker is still under a direct shot, so this doesn't accomplish too much. We're still leaving shots. And when we make this play, we're saying, no, I'm not going to make this point out here. So that's something we have to rule out. And when we do make a move like this, we're also giving our opponent 100% of their roll. And if you look at the position, there's almost no bad rolls for the opponent. They're about to make an anchor, they're going to make the 9 or the 7 point, they're going to make a homeboard point, or both. So we're giving our opponent 100% of their roll. And one more comment on this move. This point doesn't look like it's doing too much out here, but as you learn, these outside points, even though they seem like they're very far away from where we want them to be, are very useful. And this formation of checker is very easy to play the rest of our opening into the middle game. And this is something you want to learn to do. Make these points when they come up. So with that in mind, we can make the 11 point. We can also hit. Now this hit and this move, this other move we'd like to rule out, leaves a lot of direct shots here. And we still have that checker out there. So any roll that contains a 4 hits this checker. Any roll that comes off and contains a 3 hits this checker. 6-4 hits 2 checkers. 5-6 hits a checker. And any roll here that contains a 1, a 2, or a 6 hits this checker. 4-1, 4-2, 4-6, and we're going to end up with 2 checkers in the air. So we're going to rule out the hit and down to the 10 point. So that leaves us with our 2 options. We're going to make the 11 point with our 3-4, or we're going to hit. We don't want our opponent to have their full roll, and then continue on for the double hit. Now at our first match score, 9-away, 9-away, making the 11 point is the best move. The double hit is playable. It's within the error range, but it is a close second. So we can play either one of these. And there's a little trick you can use. When you think you have 2 moves that look very different, making a solid play here, very aggressive double hit here, when your best guess is that they're tie, well then, we can take that information and say if I'm behind in the match, I'm going to choose the more aggressive of those 2, and if I'm ahead in the match, I'm going to play the more solid of those 2. And that's exactly how we see this play out. At our next match score, 4-away, 2-away, the double hit is correct, and making the 11 point is wrong by more than a blunder. This becomes the obvious play. And at 2-away, 4-away, when we're looking to play more solid, making the 11 point is correct, and the double hit is halfway to blunder. So that one's not too hard, as long as you can rule out those first 2 and always see when there's a double hit, look at the entire board and see if it's appropriate to do so. So in our game, we decide to make the 11 point, and our opponent rolls 6-2. Not too much going on. Opponent happily makes her 7 point. Really no other alternative for this roll. And our response to this, we again roll 3-4. what would your moves be at the 3 different match scores? Pause the video. Now in this position, with our roll of 3-4, we have 2 big issues here. We have our stranded checker, and the 3-4 doesn't directly help us escape it. We also don't have anything going on in our home board, and that makes us look at this hit. Now our opponent is set to make an anchor pretty easily, or improve their home board against our stranded point here, our stranded checker, which could easily get stuck. So if we look at that, we see we can't escape, we should see and start with the hit. We just have to decide how we're going to continue after we hit. Now in this video, I'm going to go through what the correct moves are for our 3 different match scores, and I'm going to save a little bit of the talk and analysis for the review section for this move. Now for 9-away, 9-away, the double hit is correct. And second best, but a mistake, is hit and stepping up to the 21. The third best move here, which is halfway to blunder, is hit with the 4 and down with 3 to the 10 point. And even though this is exactly where we want this checker to be, there's just too many return shots that the opponent has off the board. This is halfway to blunder to make that move. And there is this stray move here just coming down to the 13 point. We just can't do something this passive when our opponent has this many good rolls. Our next match score, 4-away, 2-away, the best move is hit and down to the 10 point. And a tie for that is the double hit. We're 4-away, 2-away, so that should make sense. And at 4-away, 2-away, the hit and coming up to the 21, that's the wrong side of the board. And that is a very big error. And again, 13-6, we're just not doing this, but we're especially not doing it at 4-away, 2-away. Now at 2-away, 4-away, double hit is best, but it is tie with hit 21. So those are the answers for 3-4 in this position. Let's review our moves. So we opened this game with a roll of 6-2. Our opponent responded with 3-4, and then we rolled 3-4. And in this position, coming to the 11 point from the 18 and the double hit are close to tie, with making the 11 point being the best move. Now at 4-away, 2-away, our focus is on the home board. Our opponent, if we don't hit, they're probably going to do something constructive. And we can see that the double hit jumps way out ahead of making the 11 point, where the 11 point's more than a blunder. 4-away, 2-away, our match score here is really going to tell us what the best move is. And at 2-away, 4-away, the 11 point, we have no checkers under attack, and we can double hit here. It's halfway to blunder. Why would that be halfway to blunder? When we double hit, this checker can get hit back. This checker can get hit back. Probably not with the double hit, but even if this one checker gets hit back, we get into a hitting war. We want to get into a hitting war when we're 2-away, 4-away, when we have the opportunity to escape checker and have a very solid middle game. So in our game, we made the 11 point. Our opponent rolled 2-4 and made the 7 point. We again rolled 3-4, and we have these answers for this move. Now for 9-away, 9-away, the double hit is clear. Taking away all of the opponent's roll without leaving, with our second best move, without leaving all these blocks to be attacked. So the double hit is the best move here. The other thing with the double hit, this checker is only hit with a 1. There's no combinations when there's 2 checkers on the bar. And the opponent rolls any 6, they only get one checker off. The act of double hitting buys us time. So while we're not stepping up, helping that checker escape, we are buying a lot of time. And also this checker down here, while it doesn't look like it's doing too much, we can pick and pass with a lot of rolls in the future. Then we have a 2-point board. Deep as it is, it's still a 2-point board. Hit and down, talked a little bit about this already, just leaves too many shots, halfway to blunder. 13-6, just not a move we're looking to play, especially when the opponent has so many good rolls. Now at 4-away, 2-away, we talked about this move leaving a lot of shots. But at 4-away, 2-away, we're stepping up the aggression. We want to play disruptive, and hitting twice is disruptive, is tie with the best move. But we also want to make a home board. We want to make as high a point as we can. So this does assume some more risk. But at 4-away, 2-away, that's exactly what we do. When it's appropriate, we assume more risk to get a better home board, because we're playing for a game where we win a higher percentage of gammons. And at 2-away, 4-away, back to 4-away, 2-away, playing to the 21 point, we're playing on the wrong side of the board for 4-away, 2-away. Now for 2-away, 4-away, with our 3-4, the double hit's best, but it's tie with hit and playing to the 21 point. This assumes some risk, because this checker get hit, this checker can get hit. There's some rolls where both these checkers get hit. But now, this checker's higher. If this checker can get hit, we can make an anchor. That's not really what we want to happen, but this checker here allows the hit not to be the worst thing that ever happens. And if this checker doesn't get hit, say the opponent rolls some odd roll that really doesn't help them, this point can be made. Now with a 5 or 6, this checker can't escape. And we are at the 2-away, 4-away here. Hit down to the 10. We're at 2-away, 4-away. This play is not focused on our goal. Our goal is to play disruptive and potentially at 2-away, 4-away, step up and escape. This is a move that fits 4-away, 2-away, not 2-away, 4-away. And if you're at 2-away, 4-away, this move is halfway to blunder. And again, 13-6 is just not the play that we want. And if we look at this, these are all hits. This is a position where our opponent, if we give them 100% of the roll, they're going to almost always improve their position. So we're hitting. We're taking away part or all of the roll. And the double hit is almost always playable. We don't always do it, but you can see how useful it is. It always has to be something that we have in our arsenal. The other interesting thing about this one is the hit 10. In this position, it's only best at 4-away, 2-away, and at the other match scores, it's a mistake. This assumes more. It doesn't help us resolve that back checker, but at 4-away, 2-away, you have to remember, you have to be willing to assume some risk to improve your position, and the part of the position you want to improve when you're 4-away, 2-away, or behind in the match is your home board. And that will wrap it up for episode number 3.